Welcome back. Now it's time for Ain't As Good As I Once. The grand final preview. 99 episodes. It's getting along now, isn't it?
We ain't as good as we once were.
Mate,
That's a fair point, bro.
Mate, the Dally M's got to you, mate. Finally.
I tell you,
Are we on there?
I am dead set just at the end of my tether. Anyway, Stefano, you talk command.
He has.
He has lit the fuse.
Yeah.
What do you think of it? Do you like it or not like it?
Oh, look, from a spectator point of view, love it. It adds to the spice, it adds to the build-up. I mean, big responsibility on his shoulders because you can guarantee if anyone gets over the top of him, they'll be letting him know. Like, this is brilliant theatre, brilliant build-up. I love it from Big Stefano.
Yeah.
Normally, Melbourne really internally put targets on blokes, you know, but he's done that himself, hasn't he? Like coming up against two elite forwards. I'm with you. I love it. I love the fact that, you know, it's not something that we normally see from the Melbourne Storm. And I think Craig's reaction today, sitting alongside Michael Maguire when he was asked the question, without saying a lot, he said enough that he probably mentioned to Stefano, it's not how we do things around here. But, boy, I tell you, I was watching the Dally M's last night, and when they crossed to Payne Haas, I went, I'm looking forward, because
You had the...
he did. And I thought, I can't wait for that.
Okay, talking about Payne Haas, you took on Semi in 14. Do you think Melbourne go after Payne?
Good luck. He's almost impossible to go after.
Why?
Because he's so big, good. He's so athletic. He's so powerful.
Sam's not small.
He's an 80-minute impact player.
Sam's not small.
I know he's not small, but Sam would run in a way he'd give you some. Payne doesn't run that way. Payne's very intelligent, very thorough with his runs. His footwork is exceptional. Like, I love watching this player play. Like, he's so big and athletic. He defies the laws of biology. He is so good.
So it'd
like,
be interesting.
and just to sidetrack from him in his power runs, it's the effort plays. On Sunday's game, he's chasing back, play 5 kicks, cleaning up, and then Cleary drops back to go the 2-point field goal. The 80-minute front rower is first on the scene.
Okay, well then does he have to rattle Melbourne's cage then, do you think?
Oh, you have to, Gordy. You know, you have to. I've never, you know, like Melbourne, what's their 11th grand final?
Because you beat them.
But again, like it's one of those things that it could have gone either way.
Yep.
Like in this game will come down to the wire too. Yep. Grand finals often do. And Melbourne, the heartache of last year, like very rarely do you see them get beaten. Well, you don't see them get beaten 2 years in a row in the grand final. And so they're going to have to be at their best, Brisbane. But Shane Flanagan, I'll never forget it. Like going into that game against Smith and Cronk and those blokes, he set a target. Lewis on the right, Graham on the right, Lewis on the left, and myself in the middle. Every time Cronk touched the ball, he had to go on the ground, and it drove him mad. Every single time, because Cooper loved to use a player and then all of a sudden get himself on back-to-back sequences for the Melbourne Storm. So every time we carried the footy, we put him on the ground. Frustrated him. He couldn't get on that next play. Every time we saw Smith in the line, we found him. 70-odd tackles he made that night. Like, you just simply have to go after their key men.
That's the blueprint?
Well, I just think Jerome Hughes the other night, I think he walks off that field the other night going, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I don't think it was as brutal as he probably envisaged himself through the week of what it was going to be from Cronulla. Brisbane can't do that to him. Like, there's a couple. I'd be going off script a bit.
Do Brisbane have it in him to do that?
Well, I think it's Puakura. I think he's got a bit of life in him. Carrigan's another. We've seen that. Katoni Staggs is the other. Katoni Staggs has got a real big job to do on that side of the field. And I think he's one bloke that can shirt front a few Melbourne blokes and really unsettle them, and they're going to have to.
Round 27, Jerome Hughes returns. It was the shoulder issue at the time. And Brisbane, for me, completely changed their plan. They actually got Haas a little bit wider from the ruck and sent direct traffic at him. Look, Melbourne are a difficult team to find chink in their armour at the best of times. There is still some question marks about Jerome Hughes' fitness. He passed the test against the Sharks. He would get traffic anyway, but considering the 2 injuries on the same side of his body, you're naive to think that Payne Haas wouldn't make a target for that.
Their spine's pretty good though, Melbourne, isn't it? Like, what did you think of the whole spine?
I thought it was incredible. I really did. I thought, you know, I said here on the show last week that there's certain players in amongst the spine that just sometimes have to put their egos in the back pocket. And sometimes Melbourne are their own worst enemy, where Grant's trying to do too much out of dummy half. When Munster wants the footy, then he gets frustrated. Then Hughes and Pappenhausen, they're trying to get their involvements, and it can look clunky at times. I thought Grant was absolutely superb the other night without being brilliant. I thought he just went about his work. Early on, he got a sniff that Munster was on. He had that look about him. He wanted to run the footy, so he gave him early ball. Then all of a sudden, Hughes started to grow in confidence with that shoulder, started to dig himself into the line, so he just fed him. And then all of a sudden, that opened up the space around the ruck for those combinations with Stefano, Alec McDonald, blokes with leg speed in around the ruck.
Against those spine players, you have to present perfect every time. If you get half a step in front from the A defender or the B defender, Harry Grant will exploit that gap. Just half a step. The devil will be in the detail. A lot of talk about the Brisbane Broncos and their attacking go forward, but it's defensively, I believe, where they need to be on to stop Harry Grant in particular.
Well, defensively, you're strong on Coates and Warbrick getting some more ball in the air. They defended it well in round 27.
They did, but I've noticed during the finals campaign for the Melbourne Storm, they've not scored a single try from the aerial assault of Coates or Warbrick against the Bulldogs. They anticipated it and they kicked short a few times. I think it's a great weapon for them to go after. And we know that the referees will be looking for escort penalties, but don't be surprised to see one of those two get a try from a kick.
We spoke about Reynolds last week. I think we were pretty adamant that he comes straight back in, right?
Yeah.
A lot of question marks over, does he unlock Walsh? Will he unlock Walsh? But even his own performance on the weekend was critical.
Look, I thought he showed great leadership and great composure. Like, not many sides very few have actually run down Penrith. 14-0 up in a prelim final. Penrith just haven't been beaten in recent years like that. He showed great leadership to get them out of that. But more importantly, I felt he started to grow in confidence in his own body as the game went on. I thought he finished the game a lot stronger than what he started. I felt the first half he was a little reserved. Probably a little lateral, bit of early ball, as opposed to really starting to challenge the line. And I think he'll need to. In terms of Walsh, I don't know how you blokes see it, but like if Brisbane are to win the game, like I'm thinking with 5 or 10 minutes to go, Walsh has to be in calculations for Clive Churchill. Like if Brisbane are to win the game, he has to be at least 8 or 9 out of 10.
Do you start Ben Hunt or do you start Ezra Mann?
Boy, Gordy, I don't think there's a wrong answer.
I don't either. I'm with you on this.
Yeah, my gut tells me you stick with you
With
let Pakes. I'd let Pakes cop the bruises.
Yep.
And then I'd inject Mam. I'd leave it as is and bring him on at that 20-minute mark. You just got to.
But you like if they decided to start with Mam, you wouldn't be disappointed with that either.
No problem.
I think
The challenge is then what happens to Pakes. That's the challenge.
Yeah. Well, he maybe doesn't get on, but I think Mam off the
What does he
bench.
bring? What does Pakes bring in a critical moment of the game?
Well, he's going to bring more defensive resolve. It's a stronger defensive
I think
spine.
if Mam starts, Ben Hunt comes off the bench.
Okay.
If Mam starts, Ben Hunt comes off the bench,
Okay.
and you bring him into the game after 20 minutes, and then let him go at dummy half, like we've seen him do at Origin.
Yeah.
But I just don't see the value in starting Hunt and Mam and having Pakes on the bench.
Fair call. Who wins and who gets the Clive Churchill?
I'm going to go. It comes down to the last 5 minutes, and I think Melbourne being the fresher teams, not having the two days extra. I'm looking at the intensity of both contests from the previous weekend. I think Melbourne will have more juice in the tank, and it'll be Harry Grant with the Clive Churchill.
Okay.
I'm going Melbourne, and I just think last year's Dalian medalist Jerome Hughes, I thought he had such an exceptional season last year, but probably didn't have his best game in the grand final, and that lives with you until you get another opportunity. And I think Hughes will be best on ground.